So yesterday, I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about, and I was thinking there's probably got to be a little bit of a theme. And as I'm thinking about, Troy wanted me to talk about, or not Troy just walked across the room, Jeff wanted me to talk about, love you, Troy, talk about customers and how you keep your customers. And customers are very important because let's be honest, guys, there's not a business out there that if you don't have a customer, if you don't have a business. So customers is probably the most important part of your business. And as I thought about that, I started thinking of these words, and they all started with a G. And my little 12-year-old is sitting there, and I'm like, there's 4 Gs and 5 Gs. And he says, Mom, you're talking cell phone talk again. And I said, no, there's 6 Gs. And he says, you mean like a G6? And anyway, so this is called G6, thanks to Dallas at age 12. Anyway, these words just came to mind, and the very first one, and this is, I try to live my life by this one word, and if you can just live your life by this one word, I promise you're going to have a fabulous life. Gratitude. I am so grateful for every single experience I've had in my life, and I've had really fabulous and then really yucky experiences, and they've all equally brought to me so much good in my life, and so I'm so grateful. I'm grateful for every relationship I have in my life. I am so grateful for every challenge I've ever been given, and I'm so grateful for every opportunity that comes my way, and I do not take any of it for granted anymore. And I wouldn't be there had I not gone through what I've gone through. So gratitude is just hugely important to me. Everything is important. Be grateful for every single experience, good and bad. The second one, 3 words, and they all kind of mean the same thing, but give and goodwill and living by the golden rule, and they all mean the same thing to me, but always just be in that spirit of goodwill. I think what's most important is I look at the customer bases that I've been able to build. I know that my customers know, and some of you are in the room, you know that I care. And I truly do, and it took a while for me in business to get to that point where I wasn't thinking about, I'd go in a room and think dollar signs on everyone's head, and I'd think, how can I get them to be part of what I'm doing? And it got to the point where I'd been through enough life experience that I realized that the way that I get them to be part of what I'm doing is I take an interest in them, and I give everything I can to them, and I give as much goodwill as I possibly can. You guys, just, if you think about it, all you do is you go through life and you're just good to people. You're just flat good to people. Don't you think you're going to attract some good things coming to you? And then if you truly are sincere and you care, I think that people are going to be attracted to you no matter what it is that you're doing. They're going to want to be part of it because you just are so good to them and you care. And it's important that you understand that your word is your worth. And if you live by that golden rule and that you do what you say and you say what you do, then you never have to worry about anything else. Everything else just kind of fall into place, and you'll attract all those people to you. The third thing, and I didn't put this first on the list, I think that gratitude and giving is the most important. But gosh, you guys, goals. You think about that. If you're going through life without purpose and you don't know why you are doing what you're doing, you're probably not going to see the results that you would if you just had a goal in mind with an end on it. There's some sort of a finish at the end. I lived my life, for a lot of my life, with just like goals to get through every single day. I used to wake up every morning, and by 10 o'clock in the morning, this is the mother of 6 little guys. My goal was to have the list crossed off at 10 a.m. House clean, bathe children, everything was perfect so that the rest of the day I could fill with extra things. And I did that for like a lot of years, over a decade. I was doing that because that was the goal. And if I hadn't had that goal, I wouldn't have done it. But then I went through a season of my life where I didn't have any purpose and goals, and I was just kind of still going through the motions of everything, but I noticed that things weren't happening the same way, and so goals are super important. But I also want to admonish you to not set your goals too low, because what if you hit it and it's way down here? Put your goals way up here, and then if you only get this far, then you're way better off than had you not started, to set it right up there. So goals are super important. Just know where you are, and when you find yourself in maybe a season of numbness, get yourself out of it and set some goals for yourself and pull yourself out of that. The fourth one is kind of fun. The word gumption and just guts came to me, and I thought, the reason I've been able to establish customer bases is because I had enough gumption to say, you know what, I need the business. Anybody ever understand, leaders have the guts and the gumption to ask for what they want, okay? So and I'm assuming you're all business owners in here, you guys have the guts and have the gumption to say, look, this is what I need. This is what I want. You can attract that business by just being a good person, but sometimes people just flat need to know that you need the business. If someone thinks you've got everything that you could ever want, and you've got the world by the tail, and you're really just dying and you need that business, you guys have the guts, be a leader and step up and say, I want your business, and I'm going to do everything I can to earn it. But that's what leaders do, and I just wanted you to think about being humble in that process, because it's sometimes hard as a business owner to be humble. We want everyone to think our business is extremely successful and we've got it made in the shade. But if they think that, then they may not be inclined to give you their business. And so be humble. Let's just be hungry enough and have the guts to ask for the business. I love this word, gregarious. It just makes me grin, because I just love that when you're around people that are sociable, that are optimistic, they're outgoing. And I think that's a lot of why I've been able to get the customer bases that I have, is because I just feel like it's important when you walk into a room, you find something that's good about somebody. And that's one thing that I have really tried to do, is if I find something about you, I'm going to tell you I love it. If I see Jennifer's hair looks fabulous today, I say, Jennifer, you look so good, wear red every single day, because you just look so beautiful. And you mean it, and be sincere about it. But be that person when you walk in the room, you got some negative stuff, check it at the door. Because they don't want to hear about it. They only want to hear the good stuff. And if you check your negative baggage at the door and you walk in a room like this, and you're paying a compliment to somebody, or you're finding the good in them, it's going to attract them to you. I promise they're going to want to do business with you. And that customer base will be yours. I just promise you, if you just do that. And the sixth thing, and I have to just say, I love Jeff Hadfield, because yesterday, this is what started this whole thing. Out of the blue, for no reason, I get this little text message. And you guys that know him just know how fabulous he is. But he just out of the blue at 10:24 yesterday morning says, thank you so much for being so awesome and an amazing example of grace in business. Now, I don't know what prompted him to say that, but I will never erase that sweet little text. And I just love it. And I thought about what he said, and I thought, why did he say that? And I realized that I have really made an effort in my life to conduct myself with grace in all areas of my life. And you guys have been through some things that would bring grown men to their knees, I promise you. And I've really tried to conduct myself with that spirit of grace, so that when people see me, they don't see all the yucky stuff that's happening. I'm taking care of that behind the scenes. Don't look at the man behind the curtain, and just try to always be that image of grace and dignity. And I think about when I went through some of that stuff, I feel like my father gave me this innate ability to separate personal from business. And I would really admonish you guys to be able to do that. It's okay in certain circumstances to share that personal side when someone asks, but when you're in a business setting, people don't want to hear about the stuff, and sometimes they'll ask and it's not even appropriate to say. So just, if you can remember to separate those two, I think it will attract more business and more positive people to you. Because usually what I find when they're asking that question, it's usually because they really don't have enough going on in their life and they want to focus on yours. And then they might tell somebody else. So you might want to just keep some of those things to yourself. And just tell only Brett Labbit those types of things, okay?
It stays here.
Yes. He's like Vegas. Okay. And then I feel like I would be remiss if I stood here and I just said all these G words and I didn't say, and this should, okay, so 7 Gs. I don't know if there's even a device out there, but God our Father. Honestly, guys, if that's not part of who you are, I'm sorry. It's a huge part of who I am, and I wouldn't be anything without my Father. And I think that that's the most important G of all. So, and know too in business, guys, every bit of success that you have is because of Him. There is no reason why all of us are together other than the fact that He put us here together. But how we conduct ourselves in business, our daily lives and our professional and personal lives will either attract people to you or it will repel them. It'll attract money to you or it will repel money. It will attract, that's my mother. It'll attract to repel mom to you, but it'll also attract to repel peace for you, and I want you guys to have peaceful lives. I just want to say I'm very grateful for this opportunity to have been asked to speak, because I get a lot more out of this today, I promise, than you do. And it's only because of my associations with the local impact zone that I've been able to meet each one of you. I look around the room and I'm like, I saw you at the LIZ meeting, I saw you at the LIZ meeting. And so I'm very, very grateful and honored every day to be a part of that. And I just want to say thank you to each of you for coming, and to Jeff Hadfield for putting this together. Thank you so much, and I look forward to hearing Patricia.